Live your life within the moment, moment. And don't go wait until the morning, morning. You never know when it is over, over. All that I know is we'll get older, older. So let us dance this night away.
Good morning and welcome back to this week's episode where we are going to be tackling the dining room table. Now, from the very beginning of this project, I knew two things, or should I say, I thought I knew two things. One was what the tile was going to look like, which is kind of funny now. And then two, I wanted this table from our house. I just loved the look of it. I loved how sleek it was. I loved the dowels at the bottom. But what I didn't love is the price tag. And so the more and more that I looked at it, I just knew that I could probably build it. And so I talked to Mark about it and we kind of strategized on how we can make this build happen. We have already created a tabletop for our office, and so we knew that we needed to put several pieces of wood together and glue them together with dowels in between to make it really strong. We have a router, so I knew that we could take that router and cut a circle to make the tabletop. And then we just needed to figure out how we were going to create some sort of insert for the base so that we could attach the dowels to the outside and for the most part make it look just like this table. So after some convincing, Mark agreed and we decided that we were gonna go ahead, make this table, and so we started to source some materials. Now, one thing that we know, or that we knew that we needed, was hardwood, especially for the tabletop, because we needed something that was going to withstand the wear and tear of what a dining room table goes through. So we knew that we were going to probably have to go to specialty wood stores in order to find it. So we went to a couple of Durham local wood shops, and believe it or not, they didn't have anything. They didn't have one piece of hardwood in stock. They said ever since the pandemic, they just weren't able to keep it in stock, and they still don't have their inventory up. So they were able to order us something, but they didn't have anything there in stock. But suggested that we go to another shop that's in Raleigh. And so Mark and I took the drive out there, only in 35 minutes or so, and went to this shop and loved it. They had all of the things. They had all of the beautiful woods. They had maple, they had walnut, they had just such beautiful pieces of wood. But the more and more that we were looking at the ones that we loved, we realized it was way too expensive. Boards were running anywhere between like $70 to $80, even up to $100 a board. And we knew because the table needed to be around 48 to 52 inches that we were gonna need at least 5 boards. So 5 boards times 70, 80 to 100, you do the math. We did not want to spend that amount of money just on the tabletop. So we left there and we decided let's go to Lowe's, because Lowe's does have a specialty wood section. And so we went there hoping to find something that maybe wasn't as fabulous as what we saw at the shop in Raleigh, but hopefully that we could find something that we could make beautiful. And so we ended up finding some wood there. But to our surprise, they were running still $60 a piece, $61 a piece. And they really weren't that thick. They were really only like an inch thick. And I just felt at the time that I needed something a little bit more substantial for the tabletop. So we left there kind of disappointed because the wood that we thought was going to be very easy to just go pick up and then come home and build it was really difficult or expensive to find. So over the next couple of days we decided, or I was actually thinking, why don't I go look at some of the area thrift stores? I know that every time I'm in a thrift store I always see round tables. So maybe we could go find a round table. that's pretty cheap, $40, $50, and then I can take that table, resurface it, and then put that on the base that we would build. So off to the thrift stores I went, and I went to several different thrift stores around the area, and while they absolutely had lots of wood round tables, they weren't either the right size or they were not solid wood, and I definitely wanted it to be solid wood because I wanted to refinish it and restain it so it could match the base of it. So then from there we kind of looked on Facebook Marketplace, we looked on Craigslist, and we just were not finding what we were hoping to find. And so at that moment we were just like, well, maybe we actually do just go ahead and spend this ridiculous amount of money for the tabletop just so that we can go ahead with this project. Yes, it's going to be a lot more expensive than we thought that it was going to be, but it's still not going to be the $2,500 price tag of the Our House table. So we just kind of sat on that, and we just kept searching and searching and searching, just hoping that we would find something before we actually took that plunge. And so now I'm going to stop here because I want to rewind back to last week when another option was presented to us.
Good morning. I am not feeling well. I have a really bad cold, but there's one thing that I am getting out of bed for this morning, and that is my dining room table. Last week, one of my newsletter followers found a table at a local antique shop, a shop that I used to go to all the time, and I just kind of forgot about it over the years. And so she sent me this picture, said that she thought of me because she saw it in my newsletter that I was looking for a tabletop to make our table with. And when I saw that table, I was like, I have to have it. I literally have to have it. So I contacted the owner, and it wasn't until several days later that he said that it was mine if I wanted it and I could pick it up today. Now, unfortunately, I'm just not feeling well. I have a really bad cold. If I took these glasses off, you guys would be really afraid. But I gotta go over there and get this table because for the price, it's $100. It's 46 inches wide, and it has 2 inserts so that if we have more people over for dinner, we can expand the table, which is amazing. And I really don't think I'm gonna do anything to the table. Now, in last week's newsletter, I asked the group what they thought about the table, and did they think that I should put dowels on the base of it, and should I change out the wheels. And surprisingly, most people agree with me that I should just leave the table alone. So we're gonna see what type of condition it's in, and if it is in like near perfect condition, then I think I'm gonna leave it alone and just allow it to live in its like antique vintage glory in my dining room. So I'm waiting for Mark to get finished getting ready, and then we're gonna get in the car and head down to Raleigh. So I will see you guys at the shop. There she is, waiting for me. So we are here, and here's the table. And it's in really good shape. I think though it's a little shorter than I thought that it was gonna be, so I might just put like a little piece of wood at the bottom, and then with the new wheels I think that it could raise the height of the table enough. And then I think that I might just refinish the top a little bit. There's some discoloration in the top of the table, and I think just like a nice refinish and reshine would just make it really pop. But for $100, you really can't beat it. And here are the inserts. So there's 2 inserts there. I think it's going to be great. I think I can make it great. So we are going to check out. I'm going to go inside and show you guys around a little bit just to show you what it looks like and some of the things that they have. But I think this is a good find. Thank you, Susan. So as we were loading up the truck, another store opened over here, and I gotta show you guys, they have some really cool stuff. It's called Raleigh Modern. Let's go in. That was a cute shop. I ended up getting this jug. She gave it to us for 20 bucks, and so I will put it somewhere on a shelf, on a table. I don't know, but what I do know is I am going home and getting back into bed because this cold is kicking my you-know-what. So I will see you guys a little later. Hello, I am back. It has been about 4 days since I last recorded because that cold took me out. Typically, when I'm sick, I still try to get things done and push forward, but I'm telling you, my body said, girl, if you don't sit down, literally, if you don't sit down, I'm going to sit you down. And that's exactly what it did. We went to pick up the table on Saturday, and the moment that we got home, I went upstairs, I got in the bed, and that's where I've been for the last 4 days. And so I'm feeling a little bit better. You can probably hear in my voice it's still a little bit hoarse, but I'm telling you, I feel much better than I did a few days ago. So we got a table and I'm so excited. But there's a few things that we need to do with it, 4 things specifically. So when we picked up the table, I did notice that the top of the table as well as the inserts had some discoloration to it. The inserts are not the same color as the tabletop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some stripping agent and we're gonna strip it down again just like we did the mantle, and I'm gonna get it all sanded nice and beautifully, and then hopefully get it restained to match the base of the table. So that's one thing that I have to do. And then the second thing I have to do is I noticed that the table was a little shorter than I had wanted, and it currently is measuring around 27 inches, and the typical height of a dining room table is between 28 inches to 32 inches, and I would like to get it a little bit closer to the 32-inch mark. So what we're gonna do is I purchased 4 different types of styles of bun feet, which are basically just extensions that you can add to the bottom of a table or a couch or anything. And so we're gonna take off the current wheel, add the bun foot to the bottom of the table, and then add a new wheel to the bottom. And I think that the bun foot is around 3.5 inches, and then the wheel is around 2 inches. So it's gonna get us really close to that 32-inch mark. And I think that that's gonna just feel a little bit better in the space. And so then if you follow my newsletter, there's 2 other things that we are trying to change on this table. And I sent out a very short survey first explaining the table. So if you follow my newsletter, you had already seen the table before today's video. But then also the survey asked, should I add dowels to the base of the table, and should I change out the wheels to wheels that lock?
And so for the question about the wheels, just about 100% of the people said definitely you're going to want to change out the wheels. So I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to get wheels that lock. Actually, I already have them. And then it just will prevent candlesticks from falling over or a glass of wine from tipping over because the table have moved. And so that makes complete sense to me. We're adding new wheels. In terms of the dowels, a good majority of people said just leave the table as is, and I love that. I love that you guys know me and my love for vintage pieces, and just leaving things alone is just sometimes the best option. But there was one comment that said, why don't you just put up 4 or 5 dowels around the base and see if you like it. And you don't have to stain it or anything like that. Just kind of put it up there with either rope or a ribbon, and just to see how you like it for a few days. And so I thought that was a really good idea, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I just got back from Home Depot because I picked up some the stripping agent that we're going to strip the top and the inserts with. I also picked up some stain. I have no idea what the stain is of this table, and I have a feeling that I'm probably going to have to mix a couple to get to this color, but just wanted to pick up a stain just to see if it would work. And then I also picked up a couple of dowels just so that we can get those cut down to size and then stick those on there. I probably will just tie it with a ribbon or string or rope or something, just to see how that looks for a few days before deciding if I'm going to keep it or keep the table the same, or if I'm going to change it up. So that is what we're doing today. So I am going to stop talking and I'm going to get to work by first stripping all of this wood. And I'm not going to go step by step by step like I did with the mantle, because you guys have seen that process. But I will show you little bits and pieces along the way of this process, and we'll just see how it all turns out. So let's get to work. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. See, not much has come off of the table, and so we have applied actually 2 coats of the stripping agent, and really not much is coming off. So what we're thinking is that there really probably isn't a poly on here, and we could probably go straight to sanding to get some of this color off. But I saw on TikTok that a lot of people are using oven cleaner, and I'm gonna try it. They spray it on, and in like 15 minutes it's supposed to bubble up a little bit, and then you're supposed to brush it off and then just let it dry. And then in the morning it should be at a much lighter state, and then from there we'll go in and start to stain. So I'm gonna try it. It can't hurt it because we gotta sand this thing down anyway. So I just wanna make sure that we're taking off all of any gloss, any polyurethane that could potentially be on here, but we're thinking we're probably in the clear to go ahead and sand, but let's try this first. So I'm gonna wait another 15 minutes and we will see what happens. So see you in a minute. 15 actually. So this is what it looks like after 15 minutes. And I can tell like in here that this is really gonna be able to come off and kind of raise that, whatever it is, the poly, the stain. But I think that this is gonna work. Who knew? Literally, oven cleaner. All right, so they say to use a brush and some soapy water and then just
brush off all of the oven cleaner. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna do a little bit of it in here in the garage, and then I might have to pull it out because they do say at the end that you should use the hose and hose it all the way down and then let it dry until the morning. So let's first try this brushing technique. Obviously, you want gloves. I probably don't have the best sweatshirt on for this. And this one I actually like wear out in public, but we're gonna just go with it for now. So unfortunately, my camera died during the end of that process, but you saw that I went ahead and sprayed down the table. We dried it off. We scraped off a few more little sections, sprayed it again, dried it off, and now we're just gonna wait until the morning. So I will see you guys back here to see what it looks like, and then the next step, hopefully, will be sanding. This is looking much lighter in person than it is on camera, but we're just gonna keep going and keep sanding until we get it down to just about its natural state. And I'm not gonna continue to show you guys that process, but I will come back on once we are finished and almost ready to stain. But so far, I think it's looking really good. We are now done sanding the table, and I think that it's looking really, really good. There are some imperfections in the table that I'm really loving. Like there's a lot of moments in here that I love. There's like divots and some darker parts. There's another area over here. I love this. I love this. There's like a crack in here where there's like darker wood underneath. I just hope that all of those imperfections show throughout the stain that we are hoping that will work. So what we are going to do next is we're actually going to lift the tabletop off and place it on another table so we can stain, because at the same time we're also going to be working on the base. We're not going to be restaining the base, but those bum feet that I was telling you about have come in, so I want to take those wheels off and then put the bum feet on, or see which one works the best, get those stained, get the new wheels on, and then put everything back together. So I'm really, really happy with how it's turned out. I hope that it just looks really beautiful in the end. Oh, one other thing before we take the tabletop off. This is the stain that I got, just a sample. It's called English Chestnut. And when I saw the color on the jar, it just kind of looked like the color that was on the table. And so I did a little test piece. This is what it's looking like. So this is what it looks like here. Not bad, right? I think that's a pretty good match. So I think we're gonna try it. I mean, this is the very first stain that I picked out. I just really picked it out because I thought that the color really matched, for the most part, the wood. But now that I did this test piece, I think that it looks pretty darn close. So we're gonna go ahead, like I said, take this top off, and then we're gonna get to staining and just see what it looks like. Perfect. Thank you. Now that we have the base flipped around, I can take these wheels off, and then I will show you guys the bun feet that we got. I initially ordered 4. The 4th one is, I don't know, nowhere to be found. So we're just gonna deal with 3 now. But I wanna show you guys, and I wish I had time to poll you guys to see which ones you like the best. But unfortunately, this video goes live in 2 days. Today is Friday. I will edit tomorrow on Saturday, hopefully. And we'll go live on Sunday, so I won't have time. But anyway, here's the first one. Here's this one. I'm just gonna stick it in there. Could be a little big, and I'll show you a little close up in a little bit. Then we have this one. Stick this one here. That one doesn't look too bad. And then we have this one. And I'll stick this there. It's kind of hard to see from this angle which one I like the best, but let me give you guys a little bit of a close-up. What I found is helpful is to look at this upside down. So use your imagination of what this will look like right side up, but upside down. So let me show you. So we have this one, but then look at it kind of upside down. Okay. And then we have this one, and again, upside down. That one might be a little small. And then we have this guy, and then look at him upside down. You know, I think I'm liking this one. I think this one could be it. Let's look at it again upside down. I so wish I had time to ask you guys your opinion, but I'm gonna get Mark out here and see what he thinks. But I'm kind of thinking that this one, I think this guy is probably gonna work the best, just with how the table looks, how the bottom of it looks, how it will flow together. I hope I'm making the right decision. Maybe I will add all 4 to them and then flip it upside down or right side up and then show you guys again. Maybe I'll do that. This is what it looks like right side up. So imagine those stained, and then we'll have the wheels at the bottom as well. I'm thinking that's it, right? What are you guys saying as you're watching this? Oh, I wish I would have live streamed this or something.
I brought Mark out to get his opinion on the bump feet.
Hi.
And we are thinking of some possible changes. So we're thinking, what if we didn't add the bump feet with the wheel on the bottom? What if we, and let me flip it around. What if we instead put the wheel on the bottom of the original table here, and then potentially add height here, like add a piece of wood that's maybe, I don't know, what do you say, like
At least
2.5
3
inches? Yeah, so like 2.5 to 3 inches here. We would have to find longer bolts and then put the tabletop on there. So the height would be here on the base, and we wouldn't mess up the look of the original table here.
But the new ring is going to have to either be stained exactly the same,
For sure.
or it'll
Or
stand
close.
out, or you'll see it. You know.
But I don't know, because we also have the lip. So we have the lip here that
Right.
could potentially hide it,
Oh.
you know? So that could be an option. I would still stain it just in case it is seen,
Right.
but we do have that lip that gives us a little buffer.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Today's dilemma.
it is Friday evening. This video is supposed to go live on Sunday. And I don't like disappointing you guys and not having a video, but I also do not like ending a video without some sort of payoff of you guys seeing this table finished and come to life. I don't know. We're going to sit here and think about it. Actually, we're going to get some dinner because neither of us has really eaten much at all today. So we're going to talk about it over dinner, and I'll come back with what we decide. Ugh, stay tuned. We're just experimenting here. Hear us out. All right, so I'll take this. We had some extra board that was in our shed from another project. So if we put this up here, miraculously, it just gives us enough room. Then I'm gonna go around and just measure this, or outline that. And so then when we flip it around, we can then jigsaw the circle out, attach it to here, and then what if our handy dandy dowels, see this lip here? They literally just like fit perfectly right on this lip, and so then the dowels would cover the new piece here, and then we would put the tabletop on top. It's an option. This is not going to be done by Sunday, but it's definitely an option. So I don't know.
We just need to find some longer bolts
Yeah,
because the tabletop sits on top and then bolts.
yeah. I don't
And
know
so
if you
if
can see it. So we need to find out. Obviously, you can tell these are very vintage. So guess where we're going? To our second home, Home Depot. And we're going to see if we can find these, but longer, so that they can, so they'll fit this extension that we potentially are going to put on the top. So just coming up with some ideas. I don't want to mess with the integrity of this table. I still want it to be very vintage and lovely, and I really don't want to touch much of it. But I was just thinking, what if we added the dowels? It would cover that piece, and it would kind of just play homage to the original table that we wanted to build. And if I would attach these, I would attach them with the teeniest of tiny brad nails, so that if one day I don't like it anymore, if the dowel trend happens to go away and I just want it to be back to this, I can easily take them down and you're not going to see any holes, because I'm telling you the hole is really, really thin with these nails that we have. We actually used it for the surround of our fireplace. So off to Home Depot we go. We need 13 of these babies. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lucky 13. This just fits right on top of here. That will give us some good height. And then the dowel would cover this. I think I like it. So we're going to go ahead and use this wheel. Luckily it has like this little base on here. We have some screws. And it looks like there's already holes in here. So we're just going to go probably right into them. Love these because they lock. So here you can see it's locked. You turn this and it rolls. This is going to be great. And this is what it looks like right side up. I think this is just a very smart decision. I just think that it will look much better than the bun feet. So we have the wheels, we have our extension, and next comes staining. Next comes staining. Good morning. We are up and ready to go. Today we are tackling the staining. It is Saturday. This video is going live tomorrow. I cannot believe I'm cutting it this close. So let's get to work. Now we are working on staining all of these dowels. Nothing like working under a time crunch.
so happy with it. It turned out perfectly. I'm telling you, I love the wheels, I love the dowels, the tabletop. I think that it turned into our house table, but with a vintage vibe to it, and I am obsessed with it, and I hope you guys are too. I really do wish I would have had the time to poll you guys and to see what you guys thought, but at the last minute, last night, Mark and I came up with this solution, and I am so happy with it. Now, we still have to poly it, and we will do that probably tomorrow or sometime next week because we need a break. But other than that, I think that it is excellent, and I love it. And so the next time you guys will see this will be in our finished dining room, which will be really, really soon because I only have one more thing to do before that space will be finished, and I cannot wait to show you guys. So thank you for hanging in with me. I know this is a longer video, and this year I kind of told myself I really want to stay in that 30-minute time frame, but I just felt that the time was needed. It really was. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys not next week, I know, but the week after on February 26th, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.